fine. So you should see it pop up on your screen there. Well, thank you all for coming today. I am very, very happy to have you all join me for this healing art retreat. Why do a healing art retreat? I feel like art is healing and color is healing. And there's something that happens to us when we give ourselves permission to just explore how we feel through art, to explore our emotions and to sort of tune into our own inner knowing and our own intuition. And we do that through journaling, we do that through writing, we do that through creating. And when we intentionally use art as a means of healing, we're tuning into something that's even bigger than ourselves. And so this 2-day art retreat is an opportunity for us to really give ourselves permission to just, number one, take time just for ourselves. That's a big thing. So I want to applaud all of you for taking an hour today and an hour on Thursday just for you. It's not often that we give ourselves that time. And so today really is about us being able to just take a little bit of time to tune in and understand a bit more about ourselves for just a little while. You don't have to have any art experience whatsoever. This is not art that you have to feel like you've got to put on Instagram and share with anybody or put on social media and talk to anybody about. This is art just for you. And I think that makes it sacred art. And it makes it a conversation between you and your higher self, or you and a higher power, because you are truly being able to encounter yourself in a new way through this exploration. So I know a lot of you on the call. I don't know everybody, but my name's Heather Eck, and I'm an artist. And I am also an artist who uses color in a really unique way. I use color for healing. I have something called synesthesia, and that enables me to experience pretty much everything in my life through color, whether it's food or sound or sensation, through a smell. When I take that sense in, I see a color with it. And when I meet people, I see color around them. And that color generally tells me where they're dwelling or where they sort of live in their bodies or in their spirits. And so when I am working with a particular color to make a painting, I am infusing the healing aspects of that color in my work so that when you look at it, it offers you balance, support, nurturing, healing, or whatever it is that that color provides. I see color through the chakra system. So if you're not familiar with the chakras, we'll talk a little bit about that today. But one of my favorite authors is Ina Siegel, and she has a deck called The Secret Language of Color Cards. And if you're not familiar with her, I have all her books. She has The Secret Language of the Body book, and she has The Secret Life of Wellness, and she's got some other healing visionary retreats and things like that. But what I really like about the way that she uses color in the body is to sort of be able to identify places where we might feel blocked or stuck, and then using color as a means to help us move that through. So I sort of take the best of both worlds. I take the healing aspects of color and art and combine them to create work that's intended to be healing for you. So today's retreat is all about you. So number one, I will say, you don't have to have any painting experience or any art experience. If you have a pencil and a paper today, you will be fine. If you've got colored pencils or crayons or some paints, that's great. The biggest thing that I want you to have is at least pen and paper. It's awesome if you want to light a candle or just have something near you that makes you feel relaxed and comfortable. So candle or incense or music, something that helps you feel like you're in a safe space. So I thought today that we would start with a color card, and we'll pull a card that will kind of give us insight into what color today's session offers us. And then we'll start our actual retreat with a meditation. So let's see what we can pull first. Does anybody have any questions or anything before we dive in? No? All right, let's see. Oh, we got chocolate. So today's color is chocolate. It says nourish your body and soul. So I'm going to read what it says about chocolate. It says chocolate is a mixture of brown and black that links us to the earth, providing healthy boundaries and encouraging structure. It accesses your shadow side to offer deeper insights and growth, and also provides you with nourishment and resilience. Nourish your body and soul with chocolate. So that's kind of interesting because today's retreat is all about the art of letting go. And this offers access to your shadow side to offer deep insights and growth, which I think is great, because then we're going to really look at what are the things we want to let go of, or are there places that we want to move from so that we can grow into new areas. So this says, today, make yourself a cup of hot chocolate and sip it slowly. Allow the warmth and sweetness to nourish your body and soul. What does this nourishment mean to you? How can you nourish and nurture yourself more? Get some paper and pen, put your feet up, and allow your creativity to flow. Write down 10 nourishing things you can do for yourself in the next week and do them. Say, divine intelligence, please awaken the sweetness and soulfulness inside me so that I can truly nourish and love myself. So I love that. I don't think we could have pulled a more perfect card today. So I think that will be the first exercise that we start with then. I think the universe is such an interesting thing, because I had a couple of different exercises planned, and then about 15 minutes before I got on the Zoom, I threw it out the window and came up with something entirely new. And so we're going to go with the flow, which is, as what we're going to do. So let's start first by giving ourselves a little meditation, and I will guide you through this meditation. And then the first exercise we'll do today is about nourishing ourselves using our chocolate color. So if you want to leave your camera on, you can. If you want to turn it off for this meditation, feel free. Elsa, please don't drive and close your eyes. So we'll keep you safe on the road. But let's go ahead and get comfortable in our seats. If you're able to, try to plant your feet flat on the floor. I always sit cross-legged in my seats, and then I wonder why my hips are tight, but I'm going to plant my feet flat. When you feel comfortable, take a deep breath and close your eyes. And when you breathe in, hold it at the top for about a second or two, and then release it. Take a deep breath in, hold, and release. One more time, deep breath in, hold, and release. Place your hands over your heart. Take a deep breath in, and as you exhale, offer yourself a blessing and a moment of gratitude for the time that you're taking today to nourish yourself and your spirit. Continue breathing and visualize a bright white light floating above your head. We're going to ask this bright white light to come through the crown of our heads, passing through our body and every chakra one by one, awakening every cell in our bodies and offering healing, insight, awareness, and peace. Feel this bright white light growing so that it encompasses your entire body, and allow it to move through your head, watching it pass over your third eye. Feel the light move down into your throat, lighting up your shoulders, your arms, as it moves down into your heart space. And allow yourself a moment to feel the unconditional love and acceptance that this healing white light offers you. See the light moving down from your heart into your stomach area and your solar plexus. As it moves, it's clearing out anything in your body. It's clearing out any blockages that need to be moved out today. The white light continues to move down into your sacral chakra just below your belly button, down into your root, the base of your spine. This warm healing light moves down your thighs, over your knees, down your calves, and into your feet. See this light becoming strong strands of light that exit your feet and move down into the ground, passing through the earth, moving all the way down into the center of earth, wrapping its strong cords around the crystalline heart of Mother Earth. Feel strong and supported, fully grounded and rooted as you receive that healing light from the earth back up through the cords, passing up through the ground, back into your feet, and moving all the way back up your body, from your calves to your knees, your thighs, your root chakra, sacral chakra, solar plexus, into your heart, your throat, your third eye, and up through your crown. Take a deep breath in and release, letting go of anything that no longer serves you. Receiving infinite love and unconditional love, healing, peace, and comfort. Let's take one more deep breath in together and release. When you're ready, start to wiggle your fingers and toes, coming back into the body, feeling the weight of your body on your seat. Maybe you want to roll your head back and forth, do a couple shoulder shrugs, and then flutter your eyes open. I love to do that meditation, just what I need to feel grounded, to feel more supported, and just as a means to kind of check my body, do a quick body scan and ask myself, is there any place where I'm feeling kind of stuck or need a little bit more support? So the first thing we're going to do today is give ourselves a few minutes to journal. And I think that, my initial journal exercise was going to be, maybe it'll be two parts. Let's do this. Let's take about 5 minutes and we're going to write down what are the things that you want to let go of. Can be anything from your, desire for too much chocolate, or you want to let go of negative self-talk, or you want to let go of feeling like you have to say yes to everybody, or something. So let's take a few minutes and write down what are the things that you want to let go of. And if you want to play music, you can. I have a little timer going on my watch, so I'll let you know when we'll come back. We have about a minute left. Is everybody feeling pretty good, or do you need more time? Good? Okay, good. If you want to share, you're welcome to. If you don't want to share, that's totally okay. There's something magical that happens when we put pen to paper. So the fact that you just wrote down what you want to let go of creates an intention for letting go. So today's workshop is all about letting go, and Thursday's workshop is all about creating. It works both ways. When we write down or we think about what it is that we want to create, when we physically write it, there's something that happens in the mind and the spirit that actually moves us in the direction of creating that. And the same thing happens with letting go. So for today's art exercise, I thought one thing that would be really great for us to do is to take a piece of paper and actually grab one. I'm going to get any sheet of paper, and we're actually going to we're going to fold it in half. We're going to fold it in half halfway, and we're going to fold it in half long ways so that we have 4 squares. Looks like my paper has a little bit of a doesn't have to be perfect. We're not going to make paper airplanes. We're just going to use this for our exercise. So fold it in half. And then when you unfold it, we're going to write on each section of the square. So the first thing we're going to write at the top is body. So I've got body in the first square. In the second square, I'm going to write relationships. In the third square, I'm going to write career or job. And in the fourth square, I'm going to write anything else. This will kind of be our open category. So we've got our 4 squares: body, relationships, career or job, and anything else. So for this exercise, what we're going to do is take a few minutes and draw or write or sketch how we feel about each of those things. So for body, for example, I'm going to take a minute and I'm going to either draw or sketch or write whatever you feel creatively inspired to put in that box, how you feel about your body. So you may you take your colored pencils and draw a rainbow, or you may take your colored pencils and just draw a single black circle. Whatever it is, let your spirit guide you to use whatever colors, symbols, shapes, or words are coming through for you as you sit with this. How do I really feel? And as you're kind of writing or drawing or sketching, allow yourself the permission to kind of scan your body a little bit and ask yourself, how do I feel about my body? If you feel yourself go, oh, like, oh, I don't know, I don't feel real good about it. Ask yourself, where do I feel that in my body? Do I feel it in my stomach? Do I feel it in my head? Do I feel it in my neck? And then sort of ask yourself, what is that trying to tell me? And write that down too. So we're just going to get really curious about this and allow ourselves the freedom to just feel into how we feel about it. We're going to take about 15 minutes to do this exercise because we've got a couple of squares to fill in. So ask yourself, and I'll put this in the chat so you can refer back to it. How do I feel about this? Where do I feel it in my body? If it were a color, what color would it be? If it were a shape, what shape would it be? If it were a word, what would it be? And then what is it trying to tell me? And so we'll start with just the images first, and then we'll move on to the second part. Does anybody have any questions about that? I'm going to set the timer for about 15 minutes. And if you finish early, just raise your hand and let me know. But I want to give everybody time to be able to work through this. And then we'll move on to the next part. doing a quick check-in to see how everyone's doing. Are you needing more time? Do you feel like you're in a good spot? Looks like most people are kind of in a good spot. Okay, good. What was that exercise like for you? Was it surprising? Were there things that came up that you weren't expecting? I'd love it if you don't have to share what you wrote, but were there any kind of, there were some surprises for me, for sure.
Yeah, I found some surprises in what came through to me. Very much so. Yeah. I didn't think it was going to be anything
Were you
that I didn't think it wasn't what I expected to happen, which is great. I love that. And I had hot chocolate this morning when I got up. I got this drive to have hot chocolate. Isn't that funny? I don't usually have hot chocolate. So this morning I got up and I went, I need hot chocolate today. So I thought that was very interesting that we pulled the chocolate card.
Thank you for sharing that. That's so cool. Yeah, you were tuning into that like nourishing energy. That's really awesome.
So that was, yeah, I think that was really, when you did that, I went, oh my God, I'm really, there's so much synchronicity is the word in the universe, right? And you don't even know, all of a sudden going, why do I want hot chocolate today? Why do I want hot chocolate today? So I fixed myself some because that's what I was asking. And then you pulled the chocolate card. So it was just, I went, oh, that's really interesting. Okay.
Oh, I love that. That's so cool. I was craving chocolate yesterday too. And we didn't really have any. I bought some at Target. So I'll treat myself today. Anybody else feel like what they wrote about or painted or drew offered them surprise or insight?
Well, I know that under anything else, what I said was, I need color. I can't live in a gray world or even a black and white world. I gotta have color. It just, it energizes. And if the colors are too bland, it just saps my energy. I need bright, bold, colorful, which shows up in my art.
Right, right. Yeah, Laura's a brilliant artist too, and she does these amazing abstracts that have a lot of really interesting texture and color in them. So if you haven't been able to paint lately, Laura, you might be like seeking what that feeling gives you.
It's so funny you said that, because yesterday I was thinking, I'm finally starting to feel like I can't wait to start painting again. It's going to have to wait and make the move because there's too much packed and too much going on. But I'm looking forward to carving out a space for me to do my art. So good.
Awesome. Good. Very good. Did anybody ask the feelings what colors they were?
I have something on that too.
Yeah, let's hear it.
When I was talking about relationships here, I was saying some are my favorite color, blue, and they're easy. Everything's kind of cool. Then you have these red relationships that are fierce and full of contention. Some are black. This is toxic. You need to get rid of those people. Yellow people are bright and happy and full of sunshine, and they're so nice to be around. And pink, to me, signifies new birth, maybe new friendships. They're a little on the pink side because they're newborn.
I love that. That's so cool. Really cool. It was an interesting exercise for me too. I went through, I literally have a pain in my neck. It's not really my neck, it's like my shoulder. But it feels like a pain in my neck. So I was asking it what color it was, and it said it was dark green because it's lacking love. And I think that I feel like I'm carrying the weight of the world on my shoulders. And so I wonder if some of that energetically is like I'm um, lacking love, meaning I haven't been able to ask for help or haven't been able to offer myself love by asking for help, by saying, like, it's okay for you to ask for help, to feel safe to ask for help. So I asked what color would be helpful in healing it. And I intuitively felt orange, because orange is about joy and orange is about movement and optimism and getting things going. So that was kind of interesting for me. And then under the relationships, the first symbol that I saw was a fence, and it's like a brown wooden fence. And it's and so what I felt I was writing was, I'm blocking people, I'm trying to block people, create boundaries, but they're still able to get through because the fence is open. It's not a fully formed fence. So I thought that was kind of an interesting visual too. And the color that would help with that is brown, because brown's very grounding and it helps you stay really firm and strong in how you feel about something. So I thought that was really interesting. So it's kind of a cool way to tune into your body and just your in general your feelings. So you can do this exercise anytime, even in the moment. If you find yourself sitting there and you get upset about something, or you feel like, gosh, what is this really about? Just ask yourself, like, how do I feel about it? What's the feeling? And then what is it trying to offer me? If it were a shape, what shape would it be? If it were a color, what color would it be? And you can use that information to kind of help you. If you print it out, or you got the Healing Art Retreat booklet, in the back, I put a kind of like a color wheel, and it's the colors of my emotions. So you can kind of start to figure out, like, if I'm angry, like Laura, your friends, your relationships colors is really good here, right? Like you could be like, this is a red person. And a red person makes me feel drained or tired, or that they're taking from me, versus like a yellow person who's bright and optimistic and happy. And so you can kind of use this color wheel to tap into some of the things that you're feeling.
Let me
Was this
ask
a
you
helpful
question.
exercise?
Question for the color wheel.
Yeah.
You know how you've got complementary colors, et cetera, et cetera. How does that work in terms of, if you're using the color wheel, is there something more concrete about the emotions with the colors? In other words, are green and red more associated? Are, red and purple, or
Mhm.
blue, orange, and how do they relate?
That is a great question. So for me, when I see a color around somebody, it tells me where they dwell. So it tells me sort of where they spend most of their time energetically. So if I see that somebody sits at their throat, if they're if they're grieving about something, or they're feeling like they can't express themselves about something, if I see them there, then the prescriptive color that I see, I call it prescriptive because it's almost like a prescription. It's like, okay, if you're feeling blue, literally feeling blue, the prescription color would be bright orange, because that orange offers you joy and optimism, creativity, expression. So it's sort of, while those two are complementary, it's not always that way for me, but I do sort of see how it can be complementary. So for example, if you dwell in your heart and the heart is green, depending on what the wound is or what the pain is, red might be a good color for healing, because red is about the physical body, it's about stability and strength. It offers you a sense of family, and it also offers you like life force energy. So it can be the complementary color, but it might also be that color offers something different from a physical, emotional, or psychological level too.
Hmm.
So you kind of have to figure out like what your color language is.
And how do you go about figuring that out?
I think you're on your way. I feel like you figured that out today with your with your red relationships and your yellow relationships. It's doing things like this, trying to find clarity through writing and journaling and creating and asking, your body, our spirits are so intuitive, but we're often just moving too quickly. We don't pay attention to it. So it's getting quiet and doing a body scan and asking yourself, like, where am I today? Like, am I, where do I feel blocked? If I were to just imagine my whole body intuitively, where do I feel like I'm blocked? So like today for me, feels like I'm blocked in my throat a little bit. And a couple times, I don't know if you've heard it, I've been like, or I've had to like get a word out. So it could mean that there's something I'm trying to create or bring to life or talk about, or I'm trying to find a different way to express myself. So it's really just kind of getting attuned to yourself, getting attuned to your mind, body, and spirit. Does that make sense? Okay, we're going to go back to, I was thinking that what we would do after this 4-part exercise was to write down anything new that came up for us about what it was that we wanted to let go of. And I still want to do that. So I think as our last kind of journaling exercise today, I'd like us to write down if there's anything new that came up that you want to let go of, but also, is there anything new that you want to create more of? And that will be what our Thursday class is all about. But I also want us to take a minute and write down things that we can do between now and Thursday to nourish ourselves too. Going back to our hot chocolate. So let's take about 5 minutes. I'm going to pop it into the chat, what we're going to be writing on. And we're going to close out today with writing out what we want to let go of, what we want to create more of, and how we can nourish ourselves.
Heather, can you, the chocolate card that you had, can you put what you read in the chat, or at least some of it? Okay.
Sure thing.
And what was that color deck you pulled? What's the name of that deck?
I'll put the Amazon link in here for you.
Great.
It's called Secret Language of Color Cards.
Oh, excellent.
But I'll drop the link in there after I type what it says too.
I like that.
They're great. I love them.
I think it's a good way to start to pull a color for the day and then see what that takes you.
Yes, it's a
Yeah.
great way to do that. Everybody have a good one for today? Is there anyone who wants to share a way that they might nourish themselves this week outside of drinking hot chocolate?
I'll share.
Yeah.
So I just have a whole big list because, I have meditate, I have do grounding practices, walk in nature, soak in the tub, dance and sing, eat nourishing foods, talk with a friend. You can maybe even add read a good book to that.
Yeah, those are wonderful. I love all of those.
Okay. So I'm trying to get more peace and serenity.
Mm.
And I want to do less questioning. People will say something to me, and right away my mind goes into gear and thinking about, well, what about this? What about this? What about this? What about this? I need to let go of that because I know things work out perfectly, and the universe will do what it's got to do. I don't need to question all this. So I just need to believe and know that everything works out perfectly, which it always does. Nourishing. You mentioned, Jessica, food, and it's funny because recently instead of buying a cut up pineapple and a cut up cantaloupe and stuff, I'm buying them whole, and I'm actually enjoying the process of preparing it and eating it and feeling like I don't need to not do those. I can do these things myself and I can enjoy doing them. It's a process. And I think it's more being present in the moment, kind of, and enjoying what I'm doing. That's the main thing I want to work on is just staying present and not flying all over the place. What am I doing right now? Who am I speaking with right now? Let's pay attention and try not to multitask, which I won't say I'm good at it. I do it a lot, doesn't mean I do it well. So I need less multitasking and more paying attention to my body, what's going on around me, how is this affecting me, how am I affecting other people? But to be able to do it in an easy few seconds, so it doesn't take me a half an hour to figure it out. It's got to be kind of spontaneous, and I know that's what I need.
I love that, Laura. That made me get a little teary-eyed because I think that these days we're moving so fast that it's hard to just stay in the present moment. And I think that's what I think that's why we tend to ignore all the ways that the universe is communicating to us constantly. Yes. So that being present is so powerful, and that's, I think, such a lovely way to nourish your spirit is to just be present.
I'm going to try it.
I love it. Thank you for sharing that.
Oh, sure.
I'm going to share.
Oh, yeah.
Go ahead.
I actually want more of laughter in my life. So it's just so, freeing, and it feels so good to get a good belly laugh in at least once or twice a day, at least. So I'm going to try for more of that to nourish me, but I'm also working with a body worker. And tomorrow I go for a nice hour massage.
Oh,
And she's very in tune to the body. As soon as she touched, I had gone for one 2 weeks ago. First time she touched me, she said, "Oh, you're really hot internally." And it just amazes me how she can feel that through her fingers by just one touch. She reminds me of you with color, Nikki, and her with her hands. It's just amazing. I'm so excited. I can't wait till tomorrow at 11.
Oh.
She's an artist too.
She said, exactly.
No kidding.
Yeah.
That's what I'm working on.
It's funny, you were talking about laughter. And I'm thinking, this is what I pictured just now. Do you did you ever have somebody lay down and your head goes on their belly, then somebody else's head goes on your belly, and you have this whole chain and you start laughing and the bellies are going and you're all just laughing? I'm going to do that with my grandkids, I think, when I get to Texas. I can't wait to do that
Oh,
with them and
That'll be
start
fun.
laughing. Of course, they'll probably end up fighting at the end of it, but whatever.
I love it. Well, Aunt Pat is my aunt. She's my Pat. She's my fairy godmother. I was gonna say, living with Tommy, I laugh about 30 times a day, so I'll just it.
You can send them my way then.
Okay.
I'll take them for a little while.
Now, is that, Heather, is that one of your paintings behind Pat?
Yes,
It
it is.
is.
It's got a little bit of a glare on it, right around here. But yes,
But you
That's
know
great.
what? That glare makes that bright white just look like it belongs there. That's what I'm looking at. Look at that, how it just all came together and whoosh.
this is my very first big piece my son and daughter-in-law bought for me for Christmas.
Nice. Very
Yeah.
nice. A beautiful piece.
It is. It is. I love it.
He's
It's
teetering
one
on
of my
largest
favorite colors.
private collector in America.
Yeah. This was
Anyone else want to
interesting.
share anything out there?
Well, I already,
Well, I would love to know. Oh, go ahead.
I already meditate, and I just need to eat better, really watch what I eat throughout the day. I'm exercising more, but I think let go of the process. I love that, Laura. That was awesome because I am so busy all the time, every day. I do take breaks. I go sit outside like 3 or 4 times a day and just breathe. But I mean, sometimes you're so caught up in the process of everything that has to get done. It's just, yeah, you lose yourself, right? You lose yourself because the process overtakes. So I think that's something I need to be more aware of. So thank you for bringing that up. I added that to my list.
Love that.
And then I'm trying to unpack my studio. I moved here a year ago, trying to set up community and friends, and I haven't unpacked my studio totally yet. And so I want to finish that so I can come down here and just, pull out whatever and try to do something at least once or twice a week in my studio, just to bring in that creativity. So yeah. I think that would be really good to come down and do that. And these little exercises make it chewable and biteable. So, and then it can expand. So I really appreciate that, taking a square and saying, what does this feel like today? And that makes it something you can, instead of thinking, oh, it's too big, this makes it something you can do quickly. And then if you do that every day, every other day, that would be great. So thank you for that too.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. I appreciate all of you joining me today. I hope that this was a relaxing time for you. I hope that it offered you some insights about yourselves, and I hope that over the next couple of days, you're reminded of the things that you want to let go of in a positive way. Maybe you notice that they're not there anymore, or you find yourself thinking about something and go, oh, I want to let that go. Hang on, I want to let that go. What do I want to do instead? And if you're able to join me on Thursday, we're going to work on what we want to create and what we want to invite into our lives and how we want to nourish ourselves more. And truly, I think it comes down to this idea of self-love and self-compassion and self-acceptance, and being able to move into a place where we are loving ourselves more and more every day. So that's what Thursday will be all about if you're able to come. And I hope you can. And if not, I'll send you the replay.
Sounds good.
Well, that is
Thank
it.
you.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Thank
Appreciate
you
it.
all.
Lovely.
I hope you have a great day.
You too. We'll see you
Thank
Thank
Thursday.
you, Heather.
See you Thursday.
Thank
Fun.
you.
Have a good day.
Bye.